I saw Stand By Me when it was first released in the theater as a teenager, enthralled, clutching my girlfriend's hand. How many people saw this film when it first came out in the theaters? So to say that I could have imagined standing here 40 years later and sharing the stage with these guys, if you told me that, I wouldn't have believed you. But it has been a privilege to take this on tour with these guys who have not done anything publicly together in 40 years since they made the movie. Now, I will tell you, we did a few of these shows. We did like 3 of them last December as just kind of like a little test. And I was watching, their bonds reform after all that time. And those 4 boys at the center of the story are like the 4 chambers of the beating heart of the film to me. And in fact, those guys were the ones who said, we want to make sure that there's a 4th chair for River. And then right after we got off the road, we got the shocking news about Michelle and Rob Reiner, and we have now incorporated a 5th chair for dinner. We will be paying tribute to them all tonight, but we're also going to be having a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. These guys, I'm just going to tell you right now, I have no fucking idea what they're going to say most of the time. So, are you guys ready? Please help me welcome Gordy, Teddy, and Verno, Will Wheaton, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell.
Don't do it, Corey. Don't do it. Don't do it, Corey. Don't do it. Please, don't do it. Okay, Corey thinks this is his Limp Bizkit tour. Okay. Guys, I just want to say this is so much fun for us because we all reside in Southern California, so this is a home game for us. We literally feel like Mike Trout up here right now.
Who's Mike Trout?
He's an awesome player who's from down here. Don't worry. I'm sorry. These
guys are biting my tongue so hard right now.
These guys are Savannah Banana fans. What else? Listen, guys.
I'm so jealous. We can't be over there right now.
Because I drove from home, I literally drove down. By the way, 110, 101 was a little iffy. A little late to tell you that. But this movie it just means so much to all of us, especially me. It was the best summer of my life. I've kept something in my closet for the last 40 years. Please get your phones out, everyone, because I want you to tag me with this.
Oh boy, here
and I want to let you all know.
Keep it in your pants, keep it in your pants. Oh, that.
Get a photo! It still fits! I want you to see this, it still fits!
Maybe the fact that you grew up instead of out, it might have just evened itself right out there.
All right, that was my show and tell. Corey, what did you bring to the class?
Oh, no. Let's let Will go first.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, did you bring the...
No, I didn't bring the leech.
Okay.
But what I did bring requires me to take off some of my clothes.
Okay, I like it.
Here he is.
Ladies and gentlemen! Well, that's
Corey, what did you bring for show and tell?
Now I feel so left out because I'm all overdressed and stuff. Well, first of all, I brought this in memory of River, and he's gonna sit right here, right there. Yep, I like it. And then I'm gonna do this. This is a special. I know. Only for LA. Only for LA. I didn't do this anywhere else. True story. Anaheim. I know Anaheim. Okay, I know. Orange curtain, I get it. All right, here we go. Ready? It gets better. It gets better. Now, you know, I try to keep up with all things pop culture. I really like to keep my finger on the pulse of pop culture, and I like to keep my ear to the ground.
Teddy's ear.
Teddy's ear!
We brought Teddy's ear.
I brought my ear! I brought my ear! That's the ear. So if you see there, now don't worry, because I brought a wearable so I can put it on. And now, hold on, now we're really cooking with butter here. Look at this. Okay, come on guys, we gotta get a selfie. Come on, we gotta get a selfie. This is it, we got it. The casting stand by me reunite. You guys wanna be in the picture? Everybody get in the middle. No, I'm joking, don't.
Why don't we like reenact the trestle scene for these people?
You want to do that? That would be fun. Everybody scream! Here we go!
I'm gonna start this
That's
off.
awesome.
All right, Will, yell it. Now that we're all in costume, yell it. Ready, go. Go. I didn't see everybody. Still got it.
Still got it. Good work, everybody.
Well played, guys. I think we got to do the campfire later, or the lollipop bit.
Do you want to do lollipop?
That'd be fun. Can
Can we hit the track? Mary, hit the track. Let's hear lollipop.
we have the track? I'm down. You guys want to see
Do it.
lollipop?
Jerry, get up.
Come on, Jerry. Wait, we gotta start once again. Hold on, wait, start over. Hold on. We gotta do it right.
This is take two.
Because you know everybody's gonna put this all over social media, so it sucks.
Don't post the false start. Just do the good one, okay, guys?
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, ready? Here we go.
We're ready. Okay. I almost went for it.
Okay, that was fun.
Okay.
Now I'll sit down the rest of the show.
You see, now do you guys see what I was saying? Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. So my first question. Rob Reiner talked a lot about the casting of this movie.
Yeah.
And he said, one of the things that I thought was really compelling, and I just want each of you to kind of address this, is that when you're casting kids, like the ages you guys were when you were in this film, he says you really can't stray too far from the real personalities of the actors to the characters they're meant to play. So curious if you guys feel, first of all, if that's true and how close you were each to your characters in the film.
I think that Rob did an extraordinary job finding 4 kids who absolutely were our characters. And then during production, he talked to us like we were people. And he engaged with us in ways that I had not experienced as a child actor. I'd never been treated with respect and an artistic interest by a producer or a director. And Rob, having found us, and having found kids who had so much in common with our characters, then created this wonderful safe space where we could just be those kids. We got to work early, a couple of weeks early, and really got to know each other. And like the friendship that you see on screen and those relationships are all very real. And they were really nurtured by this guy who was like, not just our director, he was like our big brother. And he was like that cousin that kind of gets in trouble with you. And then he was also our dad. And he was just that wonderful presence the entire production.
But like he described you as like especially like sensitive and intelligent, which of course are like defining characteristics for Gordy.
Yeah, I was a sad kid. I'm a sad adult. I mean, I was a sad person. And like Gordy, I was invisible in my house. Like Gordy, my dad really hated me and did not make a secret of it. Like Gordy, I just desperately wanted a group of people to be part of. I wanted friends. I wanted to feel like I mattered in a world that was constantly telling me that I didn't.
Now, Corey, he also described you as having like some of the most, like when he saw you read, he said he saw like anger and pain like he'd never seen in a kid before, which obviously also really defined Teddy. And I mean, you had played all of these really great, you had done some great comedy films. You had done Goonies and you'd done Gremlins. I mean, you'd done some amazing. And then you played this character that had all this rage. To talk about being cast in this part.
Which is so weird, because I had such a smooth childhood. I just don't know. It was totally against type. It was totally against type. It was a real stretch. He was thinking outside of the box with that one. No, I mean, come on. He was like, oh, that guy? Yeah, that's obvious. All right, cool, moving on. No, they wanted the kid with the most pain. That was the way I heard it described by Rob years later in an interview where he said, I wanted to see the pain in a child's eyes, and I didn't think that would be possible to find a child with that level of pain in his eyes. And of course, he had not met me yet. But no, I mean, Will talks about his upbringing, being, coming from a household with abuse. My mom was like Mommy Dearest on crack and steroids mixed together. So it was a very, very rough upbringing. I came from a military family. My grandfather was in the military and very, very strict, and his father was in the military and very, very strict, and they were all boxers and fighters, and there was just a lot of violence around me. My uncles and everybody, they were all fighters, they were all boxers, they were, it was just violence, 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 and that's what I was raised around. So, yeah, Teddy being the kid that gets the shit beat out of him and his ear burnt off and all of that definitely resonated with me and definitely made me feel right at home with the disassociation with my parents or family or having anything outside of that band of brothers. However, the one thing that I did not understand, and I've never talked about this before, but what I did not understand was how he could have so much respect and love for the father that did these things to him, because I knew that I had none of that for my parents. I was like, I cannot wait to get away from them. They are pretty awful, mean, terrible people. Now, I did believe my father, my mother was, had mental problems. Like, she's got, certifiable, but never been certified sort of thing. But she's got real problems to where she couldn't function normally. And she was very, a lot of psychosis, where my father was, he lived a pretty normal life, and he used my name, and he had a management company, all this stuff, to where it looked like he was pretty solid, and he had he was very political. He could put on a smile and be very businesslike and family-like and all that sort of stuff. So he played the role, and I believed it to the point that I thought, well, maybe we can have a relationship, maybe we can get along. And it was actually right after Stand By Me that I went to live with him for a short period of time. And I tell you all that because it still made it really hard for me to make that jump. Like, okay, I can see kind of respecting my dad, but my dad didn't burn my ear off. If my dad had burned my ear off, then I would put it more in the classification of my mother. And if I put it in that classification, I have a very hard time understanding how he could still have so much respect if he wants to defend that person. So that was the jump for me that took a really, really hard, a hard gulp, I guess, for me to do, for me to get the courage up, the strength up to make that leap. And I still feel maybe I fell short because of not fully understanding it.
Have gun will travel, raise a car.
And that kind of says it all, right?
Yeah.
Well, and Jerry, you as the comic relief had this sweetness and this innocence that comes through. This was like your first acting job ever.
You know, it's crazy. We watch it with you guys every night. This is our 7th show.
I think.
Yeah.
And God, they just don't make movies like this anymore, everybody. They just don't. They just don't. I know I sound old. I don't care. I don't care. Just every frame is like, it's like a picture. It's just, it's so good. But I have to tell you, for me watching it, it's like watching, it's like watching where I was set free as a person. You know, my whole life up until Stand By Me, I was told by my mother repeatedly to, quote, shut up and sit on my hands. That was something that my mother said all the time. And it was something between the ages of, I would say, 7 and 11 when I did this film, so 4 years, I was just a continual, like, shut up and sit in your hands, shut up and sit in your hands, shut up and sit in your hands. And the one person who told me to get crazier was Rob Reiner. He said, hey man, more, keep going, give it more, go, 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 go. And for the first time in my life, I didn't have to continually repeat in my head, shut up and sit on your hands, shut up and sit in your hands. And it was, guys, I'm sorry if there are kids here or people don't like cursing, but it was fucking freeing for me. And I'm watching a movie where a man set me free. I was set free.
You know, when we were watching the movie tonight, it is the 7th time. You were a really wonderful house. I really loved how into the movie you were. I really loved like applauding and like your interaction with it. It was like trending toward my Rocky Horror experiences. That makes sense. But I saw tonight those little moments that I looked for them. The little moments of us being kids that were natural things that happened that just made it into the movie. And I know that those moments wouldn't be there if Rob wasn't the kind of person who made it safe for us to take those chances and put those things out on the table.
So let's talk about that process, because one of the things that's really remarkable that I've just sort of learned through, you know, talking to you guys, is that, so Rob brought you, the 4 of you, specifically just the 4 of you, to Oregon for like a couple of weeks and sort of trained you. Like Rob was an improviser, you know, his first film was This Is Spinal Tap, which is an improvisational comedy, yes.
A little movie, some of you might have heard of.
But he trained you guys.
Well, it wasn't just us, okay, it was the crew was there, but we weren't working with them yet. So basically what happened was they brought us up 2 weeks early, and they had the crew there, they were building the sets, they were building the swamp specifically. I remember actually going and seeing it in its early stages before they had filled everything in. I mean, there was water in it, but there wasn't like there was still like shrubbery that wasn't there, so you could see the edges, and there was plastic bags they were using.
There was a guy cutting down a tree with a herring next to that shrubbery, if I recall correctly.
And there you have it. And maybe that was the same tree that they were cutting down that got cut from the movie When I Fell Out of
When You Fell Out of the Thing, yeah.
Who knows? So many things. Anyway, so the point is that we were, you know, up there for 2 weeks, before the movie started, and the crew was there and they were doing their thing, but we were locked in with the 4 of us, with Rob, and doing these theater games that were just, to me, I mean, I'd been working for 10 years and I'd never seen anything like it, because the work that I'd been doing was either you're hired and you go meet everybody that day because you're doing a commercial or a TV show or whatever, or you're working on a movie. But the way it usually worked is you'd get there and you'd start rehearsing the day of, and you'd rehearse, you know, the early morning, and then you'd start planning and blocking out your day, and then you'd go in and get your shots. But this was the first time in my career, and I think for all of us, where there was actually special time allotted for us to get to know each other, for us to learn our parts, and for us to build real chemistry through workshop.
And that's so evident in the film. The
Yeah.
camaraderie that you guys had. I mean, you guys really feel like four real friends.
Well, I mean, we had so much fun. It was 2 weeks before production even started, and we just played improv games together. And Rob led them, and Andy Scheinman and Bruce Evans and Ray Gideon participated in it as well. And then we would go out to location and we blocked some of the scenes. And in that time, it was just like, it was very supportive. We weren't being tested, we weren't being graded. It was all about just making us comfortable and giving us space to get to know each other. So when we got to set and like we were shooting, everybody was there, everything was like, they were just getting ready to like put in the cameras and stuff, and Rob would just say, all right guys, go, just do what you did. And we would go in and show the crew, and they would start lighting it, and then we shot it.
It's so funny. I believe it was Rob's process because he came from the sitcom world as well, where you rehearse Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you tape on Friday. So you basically have 4 days of rehearsal to rewrite, to hone, to really work out scenes till they're perfect. I mean, you just watched that film. And I think that was his process. And I'm sure there are people in the industry here, it just doesn't happen anymore. Like, you show up at work on a Monday, all right, everybody, let's put it on its feet. You're meeting people for the first time on day one. There's just no rehearsal anymore. There's no time, there's no money. It's not budgeted. It costs too much money, Corey Feldman's getting off a jet from being on tour and showing up to set, It's not, it's, but you know what I'm saying? It's,
I'm having the hardest time hearing you. I don't know why. Can you speak up?
why don't you take the ear of the...
Oh, I forgot I was wearing the damn thing still. Sorry.
But it's just,
Thanks, Jared.
just no one rehearses anymore.
That's what friends
They
are for.
just don't.
Sorry.
And like, for example, so in the famous campfire scene, you said that Rob tried a whole bunch of different lines. So, that big circular shot when they do all the different lines?
Well,
Yeah.
all right, no, let me explain what really happened. So what it was actually was that was part of a reshoot. The campfire scene that you see was not originally in the film. Originally in the film, we shot something out in the forest that was where we had the meatballs. Most of that was actually from that part of it. But what happened was it got dark that day, I think sooner than they had hoped. Maybe there was a rain cloud coming in or something like that. We couldn't finish the day. So they got what they could get, and we all thought, I guess, it was done. But towards the end of the movie, they came back to us and said, we didn't get that. We need to pick up some stuff from it, and we're doing it on a soundstage. So they had kind of made an impromptu soundstage, because it wasn't an actual soundstage where they shot movies. It was like,
I think that it was a paper mill or a lumber mill or something related to forestry.
yeah, something like that. So they had plenty of trees sitting around, and they thought, well, we can make this look like a forest. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just making that part up. But anyway, but they did make it look like a forest. They did build a set, and they did build the campfire. And what happened that morning is Rob came to us with Andrew Scheinman and the other writers, and they said, we've got all of these things that we used to sit around and talk about and joke about and, discuss when we were your age. And if we were out on an adventure, we were hanging out with our friends, these were the pop culture hot topic buttons that we played with in those days. We want you guys to take a look at this stuff and then pick 4 of your favorites, and those are gonna be the ones you do. And we're looking at this stuff like, what is Sputnik? What do you mean Annette's tits were going around? What does that mean? Like, we didn't understand these things.
12-year-old Will did just a touch of research on that.
A touch.
To your question, Dan,
You got it.
That sequence was very much about us all being in this little space and the camera coming by and getting to take a swing at those different lines and not knowing which one was going to actually make it into the movie.
And there's one that you contributed that came from your own personal history, right? Well,
Yeah, my grandfather was a prop master at Universal, and he worked on the TV show Wagon Train. And that thing about Wagon Train never getting anywhere, actually, I think my mom said it to Ray Gideon.
Nepotism at its finest. You see this? You see, this is how it happens.
And it was just like, and he started to laugh so hard. He was like, "That's funny." He was like, he said, "Yeah, that's what everybody thought." So that line made it in. The thing that I love the most is the entire discussion about what's goofy. Like I'm never, and I feel like Disney tried to like answer that, like tried to collapse that waveform, and I'm not okay with it at all. Like Goofy needs to be impossible to define for my reality to hold together.
agreed. Absolutely.
I still don't know.
And by the
what
way,
that
I'm
is.
happy to be having you say that this close to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way. Hey, Mickey, listen, we got a question for you. Maybe we could do like a Zoom, and we could put all of us on the Zoom and be like, yo, Mickey, what's the deal with the dog? We've been trying to understand this for like 50 years now. I don't know, just a thought. Mickey might not answer. 7 years. See, they know.
Yeah.
They know.
Now,
This is a total sidebar. My daughters have spring break next week, so I got them 2 tickets Wednesday.
Are they here?
No, they're not.
Oh.
I got them 2 tickets for Disneyland next week, and I'm fucking broke, guys. What the hell? What the hell? Who works at Disney? Can I get a promo code, please? That was it, ma'am. I need a promo code. That checkout was.
No special privileges. No special privileges, but I think you might be able to get her in for free to see Stand By Me this week at the AMC Theater down the street.
Sorry, that was a tangent. I just bought the tickets. Sorry, dude.
are you okay, Jeff?
Listen, nobody takes it personally. Hey!
I love that we're breaking now into individual discussion groups.
Guys, we can talk about this later. We'll find out how much Disney's gotten out of all of us separately.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transition into some of my pre-prepared departments.
Okay.
Some things that maybe you didn't catch the first time or even this time watching the movie, okay?
Oh, this is fun.
I think so, and I bet you they're going
I
to
didn't
think
mean
so.
fastidious.
You mean facetious.
I could mean that too.
I think that's what you meant.
All right, then let's
All
go
right.
with it.
Corey Feldman. All right.
All right, Mr. Pastor Neck. Because he normally wears the. I'm just joking. He doesn't.
It's
That's
three
his thing.
against one. I'm always going to lose. I'm always going to lose. Okay. Here's a little fun thing at the end of a really powerful scene. So right after the train dodge, the aborted train dodge, when Chris keeps Teddy from dodging the train, there's a little technical snafu that you might not have caught. Jerry, do you want to set this up a little bit?
Yeah, I do. This was my first professional job. My grandpappy wasn't a prop master on Wagon Train.
Let me tell you, it really helped.
By the way, this is like, we're learning about each other here, even after 40 years. I had no idea Will Wheaton was a Nepo baby! No.
Yeah, you know what? If your kids want to talk to somebody about it, let them give me a call.
Oh well, maybe Kiefer and you can discuss it.
Fuck Kiefer. You know what? I'm mad at all you for cheering for him. Ace is really rude to us.
Yeah, screw that guy.
He came on screen. Oh, by the way, I just saw him like 2 weeks ago. Very nice guy. He is the nicest. He's touring. Everyone should go see him. But I was standing next to him and we hugged each other and I was standing next to him and the whole time I was thinking, I can fuck you up right now. I can fucking kill you. I can kill you, Ace. No, Ace, just you.
Because he's like,
Oh man, I can take him if I wanted to. So good, I just grab him and throw him down, put a cigarette out on his face.
okay.
I feel like I have to stand to get this back on track.
Simmer down.
There's always
Simmer down.
All right,
Hammer down.
Jared,
We had the fight scene next to the train, okay?
That's set
It's a great scene, and Rob Reiner's shooting it through the train, and it's so cool. It's just such a cool scene because it shows like the dangers of trains. It's so cool. Anyway,
Wait, come on, let's get with it for God's sake.
we're walking away from the scene, okay? And we had microphone packs because they couldn't boom us because they're such wide shots, which they kept on my ankle right here, and it came out of my ankle. And normally in
That sounded really weird.
Normally-
Okay, you gotta explain it. So there's a belt pack. Okay, we all wear a belt pack for our sound, right? And then that has a microphone that's connected to it. Now, go ahead.
It's my story, Corey.
I know, but you said it wrong, and they're like, it came out. They're like, what came out?
My
here,
mic
it'll
pack,
be clear. Should we put it up on the screen? Just narrate it while we take a look.
my mic pack was up on my ankle. Look,
Mary, can you put up
and
that clip?
skin it. Very important
Very
scene.
powerful scene.
Love it.
Great performance.
River Phoenix, #1. Love you, buddy. #1, dude.
And the ear having a great moment.
Here we go. Walking out of the scene. Look at this fucking professional. Out of his left leg. There's a mic pack. There's a mic pack. He keeps going.
Did you guys ever notice that?
Just go.
No cutting for me. The show must go on, folks. The show must go on.
So that's a little fun thing that maybe you hadn't noticed before.
So can I get a show of hands? Did anybody see that before? You did? All of you saw? Wow. That's a very observant audience. Usually we get one or two, but of course, LA, duh. Bunch of editors.
All right, maybe you've seen that before, but here's one. Will Wheaton actually ratted himself out for this one in the scene in the swamp. Will, do you want to set this up?
You guys, there's nothing in the world I dislike more than being cold. And I'm a giant bitch about it. I'm the worst. So the water in the swamp was cold, and I didn't like being in it. So when I didn't have to be in it, I just kept my head above the water, and my hair dried out, and it was awesome. So there is a scene, you'll see there's a take, we'll roll it, where we see me soaking wet as appropriate, then the guys are all goofing off, and I have a foreground cross right in the foreground. You cannot miss me in the foreground. My hair is completely bone dry. Not my fault. Continuity should have caught it. And then we cut back to me, and my hair's soaking wet again. Let's watch it. Mary, roll that piece. Here we are. Young Will, soaking wet, keeping his backpack out of the water, very responsible. Oh, put it back in the water now, less responsible, but soaking wet hair, right? Okay? Gordy, like me, not having it, does not want to be in this water, boom, dry hair.
Now, who thought that before?
What is that?
None of you knew that.
That's ridiculous.
We have this thing that we say in the film industry, if something is a little off, if something is going to maybe draw their attention, and then my hair's wet again, we will say, look, if the audience is looking at that, we have lost the battle, like the scene doesn't matter. So if the audience in that moment is like, oh no, his hair's dry, it's completely taken me out of the movie, then like we made a
The movie
mistake.
sucks.
That's why I think
The movie
nobody
sucks.
notices it, because the scene is so powerful.
Now, I did ask Corey if he had a moment like that in the film, and of
No.
course, Corey said, no, of course
Oh,
not.
I was perfect.
I'm a professional.
Every
I did
moment.
Gremlins. I did
Flawless.
Goonies. Of course I did.
Frame by frame, it was majestic.
But
What?
Corey did rat himself out about was that he is a thief, a plagiarist. Now, each of these young men contributed lines to the film through suggestion, through improvisation, and there is a very powerful moment.
I see where you're going with
At the
this,
junction.
Pasternak. I see where you're headed.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right.
So can we just show the clip of
Well,
that
no.
scene
Wait. Let me give you
on
the story. I
front?
gotta set it up. I gotta set it
So I
up.
want them to see the scene that we're talking about.
I know what scene you're talking about.
You do it.
I gotta set
You do it.
Jesus.
Okay.
All right, so there's a story about a man, he was in a tree, and the tree, we're not talking about the tree thing?
The scene at the junkyard on the fence.
Oh, that scene!
Here, if I show it, you'll know
I
what
know
I'm
what
talking
scene,
about.
I know what
All
scene.
right.
So the point I was trying to make is is that in every movie that I ever did, including Goonies, thank you, was we were allowed to make stuff up. We were allowed to yell and scream stuff, but it was just kind of like whatever came out of your mouth because you were in the moment and it was improvisation. But this was the first time where Rob gave me the opportunity to actually say a whole line. He was like, I want you to come up with it yourself, but this is what you're just so mad at Milo. You just want to kill this guy. And I want you to come up with just whatever would come out of your mouth that's the worst thing you could possibly say to him. And I'm like, but it's gotta be funny. It's gotta be funny. Like, I gotta be really mad, but I want it to be funny. So I'm like, I know. I'll steal from the great Dan Aykroyd.
Well, let's show what you did first.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna rip your head and shit down your neck!
Okay, great line.
Great line, right?
Right?
I couldn't believe I got Rob to approve it. I was like, what do you think? He was like, yeah, no, might as well.
But you did not reveal where you got that from.
Of course not. Because I wanted Rob to think I was a genius. No, so I didn't tell him that I actually borrowed the line, but in fact, I borrowed it. Okay, does anybody remember the movie Dr. Detroit? Yes. How many of you knew this story before I tell you? Nobody?
There's
one. Perfect. Great. Okay, so in the movie Dr. Detroit, there's Dr. Detroit is played by Dan Aykroyd, and Dan Aykroyd plays this guy who takes over a female of the night organization, shall we say. And he's a professional. I forget what they call those guys, but yeah, thanks. So he's a pimp, and but he's not your average pimp because he's like this almost like superhero monster guy named Dr. Detroit. And he talks like this, and he goes, Mom, I'm gonna rip your head off and shut down your neck. Something like that.
Something like, well, as a matter of fact, something like, can we show it?
Show it.
You don't know what trouble is,
Us? Mom, I am going to rip off your head and shit down your neck.
Something
There
like
it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's not stand by me.
I wrote nothing. So proudly. You're welcome.
Steal from
Was
I
that
stole it. I stole it.
Great artist steal?
Yes, at least it's somebody great to steal from.
Yeah, for sure.
What?
He said,
Oh, God bless you.
That's very
The
nice.
check's in the mail.
I have some audience questions, and we have actually a question about that scene, so I wanted to get to it.
Okay.
From Jeremy J. from Oceanside, California. Jeremy has some fans here.
Woo! Jeremy!
I guess this is
Jeremy's spoken, by
this
the
is-
way.
This is for all of you. Were you concerned Chopper would actually sick your balls? And was Chopper actually a good boy?
okay, so first of all,
Wow, that was really kind of weird the way that went weird a little bit, but go ahead.
okay, every dog is the best dog.
So political, Will.
That's not political. That's science. That dog was adorable and really sweet, and it remains one of the true joys of my life. Seeing him dig against the fence. It is so funny to me. Yeah, of course he was a good boy. I was never worried that he was actually going to sick my balls because Jeremy, it's not real. But I will tell you, here's a really funny thing. When Stand By Me runs on television and they have to like redo the dialogue and they have to change the lines, that line, he says, he doesn't say Chopper sick balls, he says Chopper sick kid. So imagine, and Dreyfus did the voiceover. So imagine, like, it's so, Stand By Me, when you see it on like network television, is this screwball comedy because it's filled with lines like that. So it's like, I was running away from the dog and I wasn't particularly afraid of it until he said sick kid, at which point I was like, oh no, I'm dead for sure. The dog's coming after me.
Now, but Jerry, you actually did get bit by a dog.
Ironically,
Not Chopper.
Yeah.
not Chopper,
not Chopper.
not in the movie, but during the movie.
Yeah, I was bitten in the face by a dog in the middle of shooting. It was pretty scary. We shot around it. It was toward the end of shooting, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, Rebecca Romaine does not care about the scar. She doesn't care one bit. No, she married him anyway.
I mean, I would
Imagine
think
that.
Isn't the scar kind of like a sexy thing, though?
I mean, scars are part of your life.
I mean, look at Scarface. He got a whole movie out of it.
Thank you so much for bringing up my wife, Corey. I mean, I
Of course,
actually...
we all talk about her all the time.
I do. Yeah, there
We
you go.
all talk about her.
You know that Jerry's married to a supermodel,
Actually,
right?
This is what happens when you're a fat kid in movies, okay? When you're a fat kid in the movies, you get to marry that.
Yeah. Just want to let anyone who's husky out there and younger and maybe feeling like there's not a lot waiting for them in the future, there's a supermodel out there for you.
She might just have your name on her. That's right, folks.
Hey, Mary, would you go back like stop here? Because every show, this comes up on the screen behind us, and we all just gloss over.
Why does she have Bob's Big Boy on her chest?
That Rebecca's wearing a bathing suit with Jerry's face on it.
Oh, it's Jerry.
But every time we do this, we just go past this like it's not the weirdest thing we've ever seen in our lives.
My wife is into me.
I know.
Full disclosure, and this is why Stand By Me is actually like, it's just so magical. It's just so magical, the movie. I met my wife. My wife is way out of my league. For those who don't know, my wife plays the Blue Lady in the X-Men movies. She's in Star Trek. She's way more famous, way richer, way more everything than I am. I was going out with her. We were dating. We were intimate with each other, and
That's too much. We don't need to know those kind of details.
the whole time I was like, I can't believe, like, you don't want to like show it, you know, you have to be cool, but like the whole time.
Is there a picture? Are they putting up a picture? No, just
The whole time internally, I was like, I can't believe I'm with Rebecca Romaine. This is so crazy. So months pass, and my wife says, hey, do you want to come meet my family over Thanksgiving? And I said, yeah, sure, I'll go meet your family. My wife is from Oakland, fly up to Oakland. Oh, by the way, I believe we flew out of John Wayne Airport, great airport, by the way. And
Oh my God, you're such a suck up to Orange County.
whatever. I love Houston's and Irvine. Whatever. We get off the plane.
how's the TSA out here, by the way? How's the TSA?
John Wayne is the secret.
All working out for you? Is
John
everything-
Wayne's the secret of SoCal.
Has ICE helped out yet? I'm just wondering. I just want to know.
I get off the plane. I go meet her sister. We've been dating now for like 4 months. I meet her sister. We sit down at coffee, and her sister goes, "You know, Stand By Me was her favorite movie." And my wife had never mentioned Stand By Me, and I was like, "What?" And my wife was like, "Shut up! Shut up!" Court, listen, she didn't really. Actually, she was. I hate to break it to everybody. She was actually in love with River Phoenix, so I should probably thank River for being with my wife.
That is not true.
100%.
That is no, it's not. It's not true. You've told that story.
Everybody had a crush on River. I
No, she says that's not.
Everybody loved River.
River was beautiful, but she said specifically she loved the fat kid in Stand By Me. Didn't she say that?
No, but I will say this.
Chubby kid, chubby kid.
I don't want to shout anyone out here, but Will's very close family member is here tonight. Am I allowed to say who?
Go ahead.
Will's son is here tonight, and I met him for the first time backstage. I'm not going to point him out, but I met him for the first time backstage, and I was like, what an honor to meet you. What a pleasure. I love your old man. It's so great. And he hugged me, and he went, Vern is my favorite. Oh, there he is. There he is. I'll fight you, Keeper. Let's go, Keeper. Fuck you. Let's just bring
I'm glad. I'm glad he said it and I didn't. Oof. Ouch. All right, we're gonna let that go now. I want to
One of
meet
these
you.
nights, bring
I
on all
want
the gang members,
Can
and
we
the three of
just
us just
stop?
fight them.
Hey, how about we don't have to prove our masculinity? How about that? All right.
Okay.
We're all confident as we are, right? Am I
You
right?
have
Am I
an
right? We're all good.
about that.
Okay, hold on. Can we just say, I want to meet your son?
All right, I'll introduce you afterward.
Thank you.
I thought you were asking to meet him right now.
No, not right now. It's a little awkward. We've got a thing going on. I'm just stating the obvious. I don't know. So, go ahead. You're the host, by the way.
Listen, since we're shouting out people, where's my dog groomer who came tonight? Where are you? Dude, shout out to this guy. He takes care of my dog. Shout out to your local dog groomer.
This is what we've been reduced to. This is what we've been reduced to when we
My
lose
dogs get
control
so
of the
depressed
show.
when they come home. They're
Wait,
like, oh, shit. This
can I
guy.
give a shout out to my sponsor? I've been sober for... No, I'm just joking. I'm not doing this. Go ahead.
Actually, if we're gonna give shout outs to people,
Okay.
and
This is a good one.
This is a good one, okay? Guys, brace yourself. Okay, so this film is about who you guys were when you were 11, 12, 13 years old. I have to say, the most important person to me that wasn't my mom or my dad when I was 11 years old is in the room tonight. And I'd like to see if you would please give a really rousing ovation for my friend Barry Hansen, aka Dr. Demento. Now that is a Southern California legend. Right there.
Legend! It's Dr. Demento! It's a Dr. Demento show!
Now, how cool is that?
Big fan, sir. Big fan. Big fan. I grew up on that stuff too, man. Weird Al. I learned Weird Al through Dr. Demento. No, my favorite thing, I know we should get sidetracked, but my favorite thing you ever did was the fake interviews. I loved the fake interviews where you would ask a question to like Ronald Reagan and then play some song soundbite as the response. I just thought that was
I
genius.
think those were Dickie Goodman's cut-in records, correct? Barry Hansen, is that correct?
Yes! Wonderful.
Everything I learned about curating entertainment and comedy, I learned from that man. Okay.
History is in the room, folks. History is in the room.
Guys, and I want to apologize to my dog groomer that not everybody stood up for you. I'm sorry. I appreciate you.
I mean, you know, Dr. Demento, dog groomer. Dr. Demento, dog... it's kind of close.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
I'm sure you're a great dog groomer, really. He says you're the best. The best.
so James Flaherty of San Diego, California wants to know... absolutely, James. You're not Dr. Demento, but still, you deserve something. You know, you're not a dog groomer, you're James Flaherty, San Diego, California.
No.
Did you get along well with the guys who played Ace's gang?
We didn't know, well, I didn't know them particularly well. My memory is that Casey Shamazko was lovely and really friendly and easy to talk to. I remember that we were all supposed to be terrified of Kiefer, and I wasn't. I knew that he was acting, and I knew that Ace was a character, and I respected him. But I wasn't like afraid of him, like, you know, anything weird was gonna happen.
Talk to the Uber driver.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was a 12-year-old kid, and it was 40 years ago, so it's slightly different. When we did the thing at the Body, and we were all together, I remember us playing football during lunch that day, and just having a really good time together. It's weird to think of them as like really big kids and like really big adults, but they were like 20. And like that is just so weird to me, to think of that and know that, oh, actually they really weren't that much older than us. They weren't that big and terrifying.
Now, Jerry, you have confessed in hindsight that you were kind of scared of Kiefer, right?
Yeah, he scared the shit out of me. frightening. His hair, just he looked like a psychopath. He's so great in it. He's just so such a good actor. You know, we did stuff to tease him a little bit. Do you guys remember we were like throwing? He rented a Firebird. Do you remember that? He rented a Trans Am, which was the car of the day. It was the cool car.
I don't remember teasing him at all.
Yeah, I remember like
trying
choking
to
him a little bit and being scared of him, but
But you were a masochist. You did that with everybody.
yeah, I don't know if I told you guys, I saw him recently, and I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, no, he was, he scared the shit out of me.
I remember tonight watching the movie at that scene in front of the pool hall, which is called Irby's Pool Hall, named after the first assistant director on the movie Irby. I can't remember his last
Irby
name.
Smith.
Irby Smith, okay. And in that scene when he pulls River down to the ground and puts that cigarette in his face, Kiefer was being really careful and didn't want to get that close to River. And was like talking with River about that, and you know, they were working out like how that was gonna go. And I remember River saying, I trust you, put it right up into my face. I really wanna feel it. I wanna feel the heat off that cigarette.
Wow.
And I wanna really feel that very real fear. And Kiefer was like, okay. But it was Kiefer saying like, I want you to feel safe. And River saying, I trust you. And the two of them coming together to make that moment happen. I say this as yet another example of the environment Rob Reiner created on the set. This is a safe place for you guys to take creative risks. This is a safe place for you to ask for another take. This is a safe place to be creative. And everybody embraced that.
Wow.
And might I add that his father was Donald Sutherland.
That is also true.
Meaning like he had a lot of experience, right? Because he was raised around it. Nepotism.
You know, it's
Here we go again!
You know, it's funny talking about River Phoenix and you telling that story about that scene. I mean, I didn't know that about that. Just every night we do these, you learn something else, and also you learn just like I can't explain this enough.
Did you know that Marty Feldman was my uncle?
I did not know that, but
I didn't either, but maybe.
it does have to be said that River Phoenix was like, he was just above and beyond. He was such a leader on set.
He really
was. So good. I couldn't believe how talented he
Real.
was.
He kept
Yeah.
it real.
And-
Every scene with him was real.
But more than that, I really think the reason why we all got along is because he was so kind. No one else could act out. No one else could be rude. He was our leader.
Yeah, very much.
And the fact that he was so giving, it just set the tone for everything. I can't say enough what a magical guy he was. He was an angel. He was an angel. And just even hearing that story, we just took we just took our leads off of him.
But he was also, I mean, the story also speaks to what a real actor he was at such a young age. Well, you've told this story before, but it bears repeating. Tell the story about the scene at the campfire scene where he tells the milk.
Sure. Yeah,
One of the
so
most powerful scenes in the movie.
it's a really important.
My favorite scene.
It's a really important scene, and we had rehearsed it and we had blocked it, and on the day we were shooting it, and it gets to the point where Chris says, you know, I never thought that a teacher, right? And River was struggling with that moment, and he asked Rob for some help, and Rob took the two of us off the set. And it was in that lumber mill place, and we went off to a room that I just remember all of the like equipment, and I can see like the saws and stuff in there. And Rob was like, you know, what's going on? And River was upset. He was like, I don't know, I can't feel it. I'm not getting there. And Rob said, well, was there ever a time in your life where an adult really let you down? You don't have to tell me what it is. You don't have to tell anyone what it is. But can you remember a time in your life when an adult really, really let you down. And River's eyes filled with tears. And River goes, uh-huh. And Rob says, well, think about that, because that's what happened with Chris. And we walked right back in, and the next take is the one that is in the movie. And the thing about that that's so hard for me to see now is, like, we know that River had been failed by the adults around him. We know that he had been exploited. We know that people who should have been protecting him weren't. We didn't know that then. And it hurts me to see that kid who, to me, when we did the movie, was larger than life. He was bigger. He was the big brother. He was the leader. He was our boss. He was the guy. And as an adult now, with kids of my own, looking back and seeing a 14-year-old who's really having a difficult time in his life, and yet is so kind and so loving. I saw moments tonight where Chris like puts his hand on Gordy's shoulder, you know, and like soothes him. That is who River was all the time. That was his vibe, man. His vibe was like, I love you, and everything's gonna be okay.
It's crazy doing these and watching these because, you know, they're memories for us, you know, so it just churns up so much with River, with Rob now, and these are the memories that we have of these angels, you know, angels to us, angels to cinema, angels to you all. It's just, I really appreciate everybody for coming out and watching this with us. It's very, very cathartic.
Well, here's the other thing, and it's going to lead to another story and then something I want to close with, because with your permission and with your indulgence, I want to give Rob Reiner the last word. But that story that you tell about Rob and River, it speaks so well of both of them. And I don't know about you guys, it makes me so happy because I love this movie so much that Rob Reiner created such a safe space for these kids, not just to give these great performances, which obviously is the job there, but also a safe space where you guys felt supported and nourished in ways that maybe you weren't even feeling at home. And another one of my favorite stories was the scene at the train trestle when Gordy and Vern have to outrun the train. Rob elicited those performances in a very specific way, and it's one of my favorite stories.
Okay, the day that we filmed the train trestles, all of that in a sense, it was exciting, right? It was so exciting. There was so much energy on the set. This gigantic locomotive and stunt performers, and they had a helicopter, and like it was a huge thing. It was fun. It was so exciting, and it was thrilling, and it was exhilarating. And Jerry and I were on the tracks. The train's really far behind us. The long lens is compressing it so it looks closer than it is. We are safe, and we're acting afraid. And we run down the thing, and we're acting scared. And Rob says, cut. And he's like, you guys, I don't really believe that you're afraid. Let's go again. We back it all up. Now we got to back the whole steam train up, and that takes a minute. And then they've got to move the camera. The camera's on a dolly that is on the train tracks, right? So you've got 4 grips, big guys, moving this incredibly heavy camera going back and front. We do it again.
It's hot out. It's hot.
It's so hot on this day. So we do it again. Same thing. Guys, come on back around. Okay, third time.
Like Riverside hot.
Yeah.
No, it was hotter than Riverside. It was more like Rivers. It was like Rivers Front.
No, that was good. That was good. Okay, so fourth take. Rob calls cut and comes out from. So imagine getting this picture in your head. We're standing on the train trestle, and we're looking toward where we end up jumping off, right? Rob and the rest of the crew are over on that side of the embankment behind where Teddy and Chris are. Rob stands up He's a big dude. He stands up, he's always wearing his baseball hat, and he rips his baseball hat off. And he rips his headphones off, and he stands up, and he walks around the monitors, and he yells at Jerry and me, "You guys are fucking up my movie! It is hot! These men are tired! I am tired! The train is expensive! I don't believe that you're afraid! No one believes that you're afraid! And if you're not afraid of that train, then you'd better fucking be afraid of me!" Jerry and I looked at each other, burst into tears. Immediately.
So
And
you
we-
thought they were good actors, didn't you?
And the thing is, Jerry and I talked about this years later. It wasn't like we got yelled at, we're in trouble. It was we got yelled at because we're letting Rob down, right? And then this scene gets into the movie. Jerry and I run right down the train tracks and into Rob's arms. And Rob leaned over and he kissed me on the head and he kissed Jerry on the head and he said, "That was great, you guys. I'm sorry, but you did a really good job."
It was a beautiful moment. And life-changing, career-changing for these guys. I was on the other side of the tracks relaxing with my thoughts.
Did you use your left hand or your right hand for that?
You wish.
We have fun.
Guys,
No, he's got it. It's actually in the lobby. You can buy it for $9.99.
guys, this film, Rob Reiner always said.
No one. Good job.
You got one of the cones?
He's got
All
it
right.
home.
Amazing.
He'll borrow it later.
Rob Reiner always said that of all of the films he made, and he made This Is Spinal Tap, he made The Sure Thing, he made A Few Good Men, he made The Princess Bride, he made When Harry Met Sally. Amazing films. But he always said that this one was the most personal. And it's the one that he seemed to keep coming back to when he would talk about his films as the one he cared about the most. And I just want to close. I got this as a gift from my friends at the Television Academy who do these amazing interviews, and you can see their full interviews online, but they gave us a high-resolution clip of Rob in 2004 talking about Stand By Me and what that film meant to him. So I want to close with this. Here is Rob Reiner talking about Stand By Me. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Jerry. Hey, you want to do a selfie? Yeah. Can we do a selfie with you guys?